What's going on, everyone? Jackson here from Vendetta Sports Media, back with another episode of our NBA season preview series for the 2021-2022 season, where we go team by team and give you our expert analysis. And there's literally no other way that the season's going to go. Everything that we say is exactly going to happen to a T. That's just how good, we are. Joining
Absolutely.
me today is Sir Alex Chick. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to hurry up and get these previews out because I know Jared is ready for me to get these previews out. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Jared. I'm working on it. I'm here. I'm committed to the cause. I'm sorry, Jared. I love
Right.
him. I love that guy, though.
Oh, me too. Me too. He's been great during this whole process. He's kind of been the motor behind this process. So shout out to Jared for being an awesome dude. But so in this episode, we will be discussing the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls made a lot of moves over the past basically second half of the season, post trade deadline of last year, and then into this off season. So, Alex, Sir Chick, why don't you go ahead and tell me, first give me a recap of last season, what happened, where did they end up, what was their record, and then just go ahead and transition and move into some of the off-season moves that the Bulls made.
I could sum that up pretty quick. Bulls were 11th. They sucked. They had Zach LaVine, and that's it. They did trade for Nikola Vucevic. That guy, Vucevic. I can't. I'm not even talking like Jackson. Me and you both. We can't say names.
We are okay, but I can say it if I hear it a couple of times and it's told to me. So
that's better than I can. Okay, yeah, I make up my own names. That's how I work. Okay, I operate that way. They did trade for him, and I think he is a very good center. But no, the Bulls they're not good. You have Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, Nikola V over there.
Nick
he's going to be Nick V. Nick V's over there, but no, they were not a good team last season, and I don't think anyone was really expecting them to be good. So they kind of just met expectations, I guess. They were like, "Hey, you're a shitty team. Good job. You were shitty." So there you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, last season, I wasn't really paying attention to the Bulls as a whole. I was more paying attention to Zach LaVine's growth as a player, and I think he did take a step forward. And now the next phase in the Bulls rebuild to try to get back to where they were, about a decade or so ago with D Rose, contending team, making deep playoff runs, had to try to finally start building some talent, put some talent around it. Like you said, they made a trade deadline deal for Nikola Vucevic. But then they were one of the most active teams this offseason. So, what they do?
I think they got tired of losing. We're like, we're going to start making some I find questionable, but that's just me personally. But I don't know. Should I go ahead and go into the moves that we're going into?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, okay. So big names that they got: Lonzo Ball. Did they sign him or did they trade him? I could not remember.
I want to say that was a sign and trade, if I can remember correctly.
See, that's why I was thinking of both of them. Is because they signed and traded.
I can't remember the full details, but I know Garrett Temple, I think, was involved with that, and he's in New Orleans now.
I'm telling you, that was the deal right there. That was the guy that made it work. You know what I mean? Zach LaVine was already there. DeMar DeRozan, I feel like, was the splash. And me as a Spurs fan, I was out on DeMar DeRozan. I think he didn't really fit. I think he fits this team pretty well, though. I think this will be a good fit for him. I'm still not sold on Patrick Williams, so don't ask me about Patrick Williams. I'm not big. I will tell you a move that I fucking hate, though. They fucking got Alex Caruso and paid him $9 million. Jackson, I know I sound like a record repeating itself, but man, this dude averages 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in 20 minutes. He is not good. He's a balding white guy that just people. I don't know.
I mean,
I can't stand that guy.
House of Highlights has helped promote this man. I don't know what their agenda is. But and then already I've seen so many highlights from preseason games of Alex Caruso. It's first off, calm down. It's preseason, okay? Like my Grizzlies had a great preseason too, but like timeout. This ain't the real deal, okay? A lot of players are sitting. They're just trying to get back into shape so that way they can go hard at it next week when the season finally starts. But I agree. Yeah, that I didn't
No,
care
I
much for the
know.
Caruso signing. I think there's a
I
lot better players, a lot better role players that could do just as much, if not more, for a little bit cheaper price tag for what they got them.
No, man, I am so out on Alex Caruso, and it's not like I like he's a bad dude or anything. It's just how everyone overrates the fucking guy, and I'm like, I don't no, I don't want like I'm tired of it. Like I will take a negative stance if that happens. You know what I mean? So his marketing team though, like, congrats to them. Like that shit, like good on y'all. You are doing what you like.
And his
If
agent
he has a
too that
marketing
gets him that.
team, if if he has a marketing team, like everyone should hire that guy
No,
or
I'm
hire
telling you,
that team because
it's
it's fun.
just Bleacher Report and House of Highlights. That's his marketing team. I don't even think he hires them. They just that's what happens when you play in LA. That's just what
Yeah.
happens when you play in one of those big
Uh,
markets.
what I don't like is they got Billy Donovan, and I'm not sold on Billy Donovan. Like, you know what I mean? That's not a coach that you're like Billy Donovan. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. He's a coach.
Yeah,
You know,
I
he's
mean
not.
he
He
obviously
doesn't move
had
the needle.
good runs with the Thunder, but
Yeah.
he couldn't produce anything out of it. And granted, he had like three generational talents that weren't in their primes yet, and they all eventually ended up leaving. But just couldn't figure it out, and then well the rest is history. Blowing a massive lead to Golden State 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals, and then KD leaves that next season, and ever since then Westbrook kind of let them hang on. Then Chris Paul came in, put off the rebuild by 1 year. But anyway, this is about the Bulls. This isn't about the Thunder.
No, and I get,
Um,
but it's, I get it. And it's Billy Donovan. It's like he's not horrible. Like you're not like it's not like Luke Walton. Like, and I don't know how that guy still has a job. Dude. Like,
Go
you know
check
what I
out
mean? Like,
go check out myself and Carl Heiser, another writer on the Vendetta Sports Media team. We did the season preview for the Sacramento Kings, and I just let loose on Luke Walton. I do not understand how that man still has an NBA job, and if he still does after this season, then I'm gonna have to step in and do something about it. Okay, this is a team. Not only do I not care for, they are a rival of Memphis, but I may have to get involved if Luke Walton still has a job.
like I don't like this team, but this cannot go on. This can't go
I'm
on.
just that much of a basketball fan that I'm like the Mannings on Monday Night Football. I have no dog in this fight, but I hate seeing bad basketball. I hate seeing bad coaching.
Oh yeah, I feel that. And no,
But
yeah.
lots of new
But Billy,
additions, lots of new pieces for the Bulls this season. But Alex, out of all these new players, this new young team, who in your mind is the key player moving forward? I may have a good idea, but go ahead and say what you want.
I know Zach Levine can who. I know what I'm getting out of DeMar DeRozan. Nick V is, like I said, he's a very underrated center. I think it depends on Lonzo Ball. I think a lot.
Yep.
That is going to be if that team progresses or not. Now, we knew Lonzo Ball could facilitate the ball. We knew he could facilitate the ball, and no problem with that. And I think he's going to facilitate the ball very nicely. He's got Zach Levine giving the ball. He's got DeMar DeRozan, and Nick V. He's going to facilitate for those guys for sure. But there's not enough talent on this team for him not to score. And it looks like his shots improved. And I hate using preseason because even NFL, NBA, I don't watch preseason. I think it's a waste of my fucking time. I'm being teased the entire time because it's not actual regular season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So,
I get you.
but it depends on Lonzo Ball, okay? If he can facilitate the ball as well, or if he can score as well as he facilitates the ball, I think this Chicago Bulls team is that much better. Now, if he doesn't and he just facilitates the ball, it's whatever those three can bring to the game. But if Lonzo Ball is also putting up points, whether from deep or just mid-range, I think that helps the Chicago Bulls all that much more.
Yeah,
I think defensively, I think this team will be fine.
I like that pick as the key player for the Bulls, especially when you bring in the 3-point shooting aspect. Lonzo took a massive leap forward as a 3-point shooter last year. Like, I was surprised. Like, he started off doing really well, and I was like, it's just the fluke, you know. It's Lonzo. It's the point guard. I'm not buying it yet. But he just continued, and he shot at a high volume and at a really good rate. And it's like, okay, I got to respect this now. I got to respect Lonzo Ball as a 3-point shooter. And nothing really jumps to mind from this roster 3-point shooting wise. And we can get into it a little bit later when, you know, you do your actual prediction for this upcoming season. But that could be a potential Achilles heel. And it's the Achilles heel for a lot of teams that are kind of that in that mid-level range that holds them back from taking that leap forward. Like my Memphis Grizzlies have been searching for that forever. Ever since they moved to Memphis, they've been looking for a consistent 3-point shooting. It's been over 20 years, and they still have not found that consistent 3-point shooting.
It's like Jackson on the outside looking in. It's just like, get a 3-point shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it's easy.
You know what I mean?
It's easy. What do you mean Courtney Lee isn't your guy? What do you mean Rudy Gay and OJ Mayo can't get it done?
Just go sign one. You know what I mean? Just like, you know. No, I get you, but like, no, Lonzo Ball, like, he really has to, like, if he keeps this up, it really helps his team all that much more because it opens up the offensive possibilities for him and the Bulls. You know, it's like, because if they have to guard Lonzo Ball as a shooter on some possessions, that frees up maybe some better scoring offensive weapons on his team, and that's all much better for the Bulls.
When you got an athlete like Zach LaVine and even DeMar, even in his advanced age, someone opening up those lanes helps tremendously. Spreading out the defense, opening up driving lanes. They needed to make it easier, especially for someone like DeMar, who can still hit that mid-range pretty decently. Need to open up some space for him. Now, you've given me your key player. What is your X factor for this Bulls team? Again, this could be like a different player. It could be a situation. It could be a trade. Anything you want. What do you see as what do the Bulls need to do, or who needs to perform in order for the Bulls to consider this season a success, to be the best Bulls team that they can be?
I'm actually going to flip it on you, okay? Because I actually meant fucking Lonzo Ball is my X factor.
Okay.
What I meant, my key player, I misread it.
No, you could.
My key player is Zach LaVine, okay? Zach LaVine, for obvious reasons, his growth, you alluded to this earlier, his growth is, you know, and right now, you know, yeah, you see DeMar DeRozan on the team, but this is like Zach LaVine's team, okay? Like, this is his team. So he is the key player going for the Bulls going forward. And I mean, that was last year. You know, DeMar DeRozan's coming into this Chicago Bulls team. Lonzo Ball's coming to this team. Nick V is coming to this team. These are all guys coming to Zach LaVine's team. So he is definitely the key player in all of this. He will be the number one option, and I don't think you have it any other way. So let's go that way. And then whatever I said about Lonzo Ball, it was for the X factor thing.
Gotcha.
I got you. I got you. So
easy fix.
But yes,
easy
Zach
fix.
LaVine is
Easy
fix.
Key player. Easy fix.
Easy,
so
bro. Like,
key player, Zach LaVine. I like it. I agree. I still like the Lonzo Ball as key player too. I thought that was pretty good. But as the X factor, adding in the 3-point shooting along with playmaking ability, I love that even more. I love it even more.
Right.
But okay. So with all of that being said, where do you think the Bulls end up when all is said and done, when the dust is settled and the final buzzer goes off in the 82nd game this season? Where do the Bulls fit in the East?
They are in the play-in. And I wanted, like, 7 sounds about right. My biggest – so I don't think that's too crazy, but I don't think, like, that expectation's way too high either. Or, like, the expectation's way too high or way too low. It's a conservative Nancy pick, okay? But this team like the top five, like I said, I'm not sold on Patrick Williams, is decent, right? How do they utilize those players will depend, right? But this bench sucks. Like I'm not a big fan of this bench. Uh, One, and I'm not going to go over my rant again, but Alex Caruso, who you're paying $9 million a year, he's better. He has to put up more than 6 points, has to put up more than 2 rebounds, 2 assists in 20 minutes. Like that is not an option. Like if this team is going to succeed, Kobe White, which I don't hate. It's just it's Kobe White. You're not like, hey, this guy is fucking. He's not 6th man of the year.
Yeah, he's shown flashes, but it's just
exactly. And now you're depending on Tony Bradley, Derrick Jones Jr., Troy Brown, I guess.
Oh my!
I mean, this bench sucks. Okay, so 7 might even be a little bit of. Like I said, 7 is just the number that speaks to me right now, but that might be the ceiling. But right now, like that's not. I think they're in the play-in game regardless. I don't think there's 5 teams better than the Bulls in the East. Okay. Or I mean, there's not 5 teams worse than the Bulls in the East. Misread that or missaid that. There's not 5 teams worse than the Bulls in the East. Therefore, I think they go in the play-in. And I don't think now, do they get past the play-in? That's a great question. It depends on the matchup, depends on the injuries that's going on at the time. But I think them being in the play-in game, going for a playoff spot is not crazy, and I think it's fair.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the Bulls, as a play-in team, finishing somewhere in between the 7 and what is it? Is it it's 10th, right? 7 through 10. You're in the playoff spot. I think that's fair. I think and like you said, depth is not really there. One player goes down. That's a big hole that is not really going to get filled. If Vucevic goes down, you don't necessarily have another big that could fill that hole. If DeRozan goes down, you don't really have veteran leadership. Levine goes down, you don't have explosive playmaking. Lonzo goes down, you maybe don't have as good of three-point shooting and ability to play make and spread the floor and run the fast break, which is another area where Lonzo succeeds, and that was a huge failure of Van Gundy, was not allowing Lonzo Ball to get the ball in the open court and make plays. And that was a big reason why New Orleans failed last season. But again, this isn't we're not talking about the Pelicans. This is fully about the Bulls. But Alex, I love it. I think you're spot on with the Bulls. So we'll wrap up the episode now. Thank you everyone for so much for tuning in and watching this episode of our season preview series. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. And if you do subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit the notification button so that way you can be notified whenever we got a new video coming out on the YouTube. You'll be one of the first people to know about it. I'm Jackson Law. He's Alex Chick. We're part of the Vendetta Sports Media Network, and we'll see you guys next time.